It's just loading right now. Take a second.
Yes, sir.
You got the YouTube channel Strategy with Jason. You able to find that okay?
Not yet. Hold on.
All righty. There we go. We are live on YouTube. Perfect. That looks cool. Okay. I can do this. Hey, you know what? Actually, you get to pop my live cherry.
Oh, this is the first time going live?
You know what? I've always kind of been back and forth on live, and I just kind of, wasn't 100% sure if it was something I was going to do or not. Like, I knew I was going to do it at some point in time, but you know how it is. You just got to like rip the Band-Aid off and just go for it.
Yeah. That's
pretty much what I did. I just ripped the Band-Aid off and just decided to go ahead and do it. Even though I've been putting out content like crazy for years, I just, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm going to go live. We'll do it.
Yeah, live it's a different animal going live. I make phone calls on Instagram live from time to time. It worked.
Yeah, well, you know what it is with me is that I have a tendency of saying a lot of stupid shit, and my team is an amazing team at editing all the stupid crap I say. So I'm always concerned is if I go live, are people actually going to realize how dumb sounding I am sometimes? Well, you know what? I don't care. They can hear it. It's no big deal. Doesn't bug me. Okay, cool. What I'll do is I'll just do a quick intro. We'll get this bad boy started. I'll ask you real quick just about your background, your origin story, that kind of thing. And then we'll just dive right into personal branding. Hey, what's going on, Podcast Nation? It's Jason Harris here with Digital Dealership Solutions. Hey, thanks for joining me on another episode of Coffee with Jason. Today, I have my guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Bowtie Terrance.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man? Thanks for coming and jamming with me today, dude. I really appreciate that.
Man, I appreciate the invite.
So, hey, for everybody out there that's either listening or watching this, if they don't know who Bowtie is, they probably should. Look, I'm in Canada. I'm in Toronto, Canada, and I know who Bowtie is. And real quick, you are where in Texas again, are you?
I'm in Dallas, Texas.
You're in Dallas, Texas.
By way of Atlanta, Georgia.
By way of Atlanta, Georgia. See,
yes,
I talk about branding, right? Here I am, Toronto, Canada, and I know who Bowtie Terrance is. In fact, actually, a fair amount of people up here know who you are, sir. So this will be a fun one to do. Hey, but for everybody out there that don't know who you are, if you can start us off with that 2-minute origin story, that is Mr. Bowtie Terrance.
2-minute story. Let's see.
How you got started in the industry and how that all came about.
Okay, well, I immediately prior to joining the automotive industry, I was driving 18-wheelers, big rigs. But I had a little bit of a finance background, and I wanted to get back into finance. So I thought I'd go apply at car dealerships to go into the finance department.
Nice.
And they all greeted me with the same reception. You got to sell cars first. And didn't know a whole lot about selling cars. I actually tried to sell cars at a couple of dealerships before I ended up at Dallas Dodge. Nobody knows this because I politicked my way into a car sales job at Dallas Dodge by telling them I hadn't failed at selling cars in the past. Nice. But I tried at a couple of dealerships. It didn't do too well. But I know I wanted to do finance, so I gave it another shot. And they told me I had to sell cars. So I read books. I watched YouTube videos about, how to sell cars. And then I said, hey, why not? Let me give it a shot. At the dealership, Dallas Dodge, where I work at, they had like 30 salespeople when I started. And, I'm from Atlanta, so I don't know anybody here in Georgia. In Texas, so I couldn't get any referrals. I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
So I said, I know how difficult it is for people to remember names, myself included. So I said, I got to give people something to remember in case they don't remember my name. So I started wearing bow ties. And so I would just hoping, if they come back, they'd ask for the guy who was wearing the bow tie. And then next thing you know, my coworkers were calling me bow tie. So I just say, hey, I'm just going to go by Bowtie Terrance.
You're just going to run with that. Had you ever worn a bow tie before? Was that just something natural to
you? No,
you?
I had a couple of bow ties, but I didn't really wear them. I tried to get into it. I tried to do it, but nothing, I wasn't real consistent.
I got to be honest with you. I don't even know if I know how to tie a bow tie.
Man,
you know what? You got one on your neck. All right. Can we get a bow tie lesson from bow tie Terrance?
So let me tell you, man. This a couple months, about 6 weeks ago, I made a commitment to get in the gym and gain a couple pounds, because I had been saying I was going to do it, but I tried for a few weeks and I stopped. I let work get in the way, so I committed to doing it, and I actually gained about maybe 15 pounds in like 3 months. So none of my shirts actually fit, so I got to go buy new clothes so I can button my so I can't button the neck of my shirt to even tie the tie. I had to grab it, just to put it on. Bro.
Okay, well, next time I have you on, we're gonna get a bow tie lesson from bow tie Terrance.
Let's do it.
So you hadn't, like, bow ties was not a normal part of your thing. You just had one sitting in your closet, and you were just like, the hell with it, I'm gonna wear a bow tie into work today.
Yeah, I had a couple of them. I just didn't wear them. I maybe had like 3 or 4, and I didn't get a whole lot of use out of them until I started,
And then bow tie,
thing.
your fellow coworkers started calling you bow tie. That kind of stuck, And then what? It just became a normal thing. You just were wearing bow ties every day, and
yeah, I wear bow tie. Like it got to a point to where I would try to switch it up a little bit and wear just a necktie. And he was like, "Man, where's the bow tie? Where's man? We can't even call you bow tie." So I was like, "Oh, I just wear bow ties." But.
So what was the point that you realized that you were kind of onto something? Like what was it? It was like, hey, I got something here. I can brand this. I can turn this into something. When did that happen?
Man, it happened like accidentally. So my brother moved to Dallas maybe like 2 years ago. He moved to Dallas, and he is a rapper.
Okay.
But I got him a job at a dealership with me. And he was, we was in the car one day, just waiting for an up, and he was out there rapping. And I was, I'm like, oh yeah, man, we got to figure out a way to get you seen. And then, so I started rapping, and then I was rapping about cars. And I was like, wait a minute, man, let me do a song. So
really,
that's what happened. Yep. So I made a song about selling cars, and then like everybody at the dealership was like singing the song, and I was like, man, you know what? I think I'm on this is the route that I'm gonna take. And then the next thing you know, I'm on a podcast with hosts from Toronto. So.
Well, no, that video did go. I mean, it did go a little viral. I mean, I know there's a lot of dealerships across the country that actually have seen that video. In fact, actually, I think I've even seen the video used in a couple presentations before.
Yeah.
So the video it was a great video. We'll definitely make sure we have a link for that video down below, or for sure, at least in the comments.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you guys, you did the rap, all right? You recorded it, and it went on.
Well, that's not even the one that went viral. That was the one that went
viral. Okay, my bad.
The one that went viral. It was like, I was at a Toyota dealership. That's the one that went viral. And to me, that wasn't even my best video up to that point. Like I had better big videos prior to that one, but for whatever reason, that was the one that got the traction. But I did maybe like 3 or 4 videos prior to that one at the Dodge dealership. And,
so you did these videos, you put this information out there, people started to consume it. All right. When did you really kind of feel like, hey, this is actually supporting my sales efforts at the dealership? I mean, were customers coming in going, hey, yo, where's bow tie?
Yeah, well, customers would call the dealership from around. I ain't gonna call them customers. I'll say people would call the dealership from around the country just to speak to me.
Wow.
And, yeah. And then I was like, man, but I mean, don't get me wrong, I've sold cars from social media. I remember maybe like early on, I was when I learned how to do the advertising thing, I spent $10 on Instagram, and it led me to a car sale. Like I sold somebody from that ad. There was a video. One of my videos, I $10 promoted, sold somebody, and her cousin came and bought a car, and then his girlfriend bought a car, and then her cousin told her this car, I came and bought another car. So that $10 got me 4 car deals.
$10 got you 4 car deals.
Yeah.
I think we just came up with the name for your next song. Okay. So so customers started coming in. What was that kind of conversation like? I mean, was it immediately to say, hey, I saw your video, I really like what you're kind of putting down, this is the situation I'm in, can you help me out? I mean, how did that?
Yeah, like like I said, the majority of the people that called weren't interested in buying a car. They just, wanted to talk to me.
Yep.
So I mean, I took that as an opportunity to, build a relationship so that when they are ready to buy a car, they'll come talk to me again, hopefully. But it was just it's advertising, it's marketing. It's no different from Target or whatever. You put out you put content out. They don't necessarily, you don't want them to necessarily come in and talk to you because you created the content. You want them to come in and do business. So I think like my whole objective, even today, I do rap videos. I mean, I do rap videos. I mean, I just did a song recently. I didn't do a video for it yet, but I did a song. But I do this content just to name and brand recognition, just to stay relevant.
Well, because you're creating an audience, right? I mean, these are people that may be in market for a car, or may not even be in market for the car, but they're consuming your content. They're getting to know you as an individual. All right, you're relating with them on a type of music that you guys both enjoy. All right, so it just feels like they're just a little closer to you before they even come in. Do you ever get
absolutely
like they know you, like you just like a little closer with them when they come through the door?
Now you're 100% right there. They do or they'll like reach out to me, which most of them do. Like they reach out to me before they come to the dealership. The customers who actually do business with me. But I have actually run into people at the dealership who say, "Man, what's up, Bowtie?" And I was like, and this is when I was still selling cars, but they'd be working with another salesperson. So I said, like you know who I am, but you come to the dealership and you don't even ask for me. So that's going to happen too.
That's going to happen too. But actually, and in fact, I just want to pause there for a second because I think that's really important for all the managers, the sales managers, general managers, dealer principals that are listening to this. Is that the whole point of me kind of doing this podcast is my goal here is to really try to eliminate upper management's fear of their salespeople having strong brands. Now, I got no problem admitting it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to say that your brand was actually probably stronger than the dealership's brand at that point in time.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say right now, my Facebook page got 1,000 more likes than my dealership's Facebook page. So
we'll see. And I think that's really important. And I think for all the managers out there that are listening or watching to this, all right, that you can't be afraid of this. You're going to sell, personally, you're selling more cars because of it, but the dealership in itself is also selling more cars.
100%. I think, it's no different from, it's like football. I got a, football background. So to me, football was my mentor. So like I have a lot of life lessons, business lessons that football taught me. And one, to your point about if I'm selling more cars, the dealership is selling more cars. It's no different from a running back or somebody who have their brand bringing people to the stands to see them. Like the team is going to get paid as well.
100%. Now, it's funny. I find a lot of people that are similar to you, doing a really good job of creating these personal brands, is that a lot of them do have this sports background. So that's why I was actually kind of interested in the fact that you said that. And I think where I find the connection is that in sports, you have to have a plan or strategy. And you have to be able to execute on it. And that's what makes you good at sports, is be able to, work as a team, create the plan, and then just execute, just do the damn thing. You'd be amazed how many LinkedIn messages I get, or Instagram messages, or Facebook messages I get saying, hey, I want to do what you guys do, right? I mean, I want to do that, but I don't have that. They seem to have this block inside of them. Maybe it's a lack of confidence, or maybe direction, or something along that lines. But what I find is that they all have great ideas. An idea is only as good as how well you can execute it.
Right.
It's like in our playbook, we have all kinds of great plays.
Right.
But a play don't mean shit if you can't execute it well.
100%. Execution is the key. So you're 100% right.
So, I get a lot, I get that message a lot in my inbox, like, how do I start, and I have to admit, I'm not the best at answering that because, my answer is just like, well, just hit the damn red button.
You just start. Yeah, You just
But
start.
like when you know at that time when you started, like walk me through that. Was it this like the same day? Was this the next day? Was there some time and planning put into place before you hit that red button, start recording?
Nope. I'm gonna tell you. So I had an old, the laptop that I hadn't used in years, and it was the slowest laptop that I had. But I was like, man, I didn't have the money to go make an investment in the laptop that I got now. But I didn't have headphones. I had a set of Rosetta Stone headphones with the mic attached to it already, and I figured out how to like download MP3s from YouTube, and I don't know what program I used. I can't remember the program I used to record the song, but I did it, and the sound quality was terrible. But I didn't realize it was terrible until I found better sound quality. And I was like, man. But I did that song just because I wanted to do it. Like, like I think ultimately when people ask me, what did I need to do to get started? Well, first you got to actually want to do it. Like you have to like really be hungry to do it. Like it's like food, like, man, I want to get something to eat. Well, you're not going to be in a real hurry to get something to eat if you're not hungry.
Yep.
But if you are hungry, you're going to haul ass to get you something to eat. So that's what it be. You got to be hungry for one. So people say, man, I've been thinking about doing this. I'm like, first of all, when you get hungry, then talk to me, because I'm not real interested in like wasting my time pouring into people who don't want to be poured into.
That's so true. Actually, that's actually a really good response. And it's a true, going even back to your sports analogy, right? Is that if you want to win at this, you want to sell cars, you want to move metal, you want to make that big paycheck, you got to be hungry.
You got to want to do it.
You got to
you can't just say you want it. You got to like, it has to be an internal desire. And if you have it, then nobody can stop you from doing it.
So, okay. So I'm just picturing this in my head. So it was you and did you say it was your brother?
My younger brother.
So you and your younger brother, you're sitting in a car at the dealership waiting for the next up. Mm-hmm. All right. And you guys start just back and forth randomly rapping with each other.
Yeah. So he was just rapping, he was just talking about his, what he got plans to do, he just got to get some money to do it, and he wanted to get his rap career started. And he was, I'm listening to him freestyle. And so I started freestyling and I'm talking about selling cars. And then we did it for maybe about 15 minutes. And then so later that day, I got home and I was thinking about the rap and I was like, man, let me start writing. So I wrote some stuff, found a beat. And then I don't know, man, one thing led to another. And we was at the dealership and one of my coworkers, I gave him my cell phone so he can record us doing
So like, what was this like the next day? Like the next day you go back into the dealership with the lyrics in hand and you're like, okay, let's record.
No, it's a little bit more sophisticated than that. It's not as easy as it might look. It's
you got to have a playbook. You got to take time, right? You got to put it out. So how much time from when you started writing, putting the pen to the paper, all right, putting the lyrics, from the time you actually decided to hit that red button?
Maybe about a week. I don't know. It don't take me long.
That's the point, right? Is that
it's about a week.
You're like you made the decision in your head. I'm going to do this. I'm going to execute on this, right?
Yeah.
Right. You went home, got your playbook out. All right. Starting writing out the lyrics. And within that week, all right, you're like, okay, get your cell phone out real quick. And you're just going to start rapping.
Yeah. It was well, I recorded it first. I had to record it on my computer. It was the week that I'm talking about. So I recorded the song and then, so I write and like, I record the song so fast. I don't know all the lyrics. By the time the song is finished. So I had to listen to it for a little while on my way to car. So I was driving to work, listening to my own song, doing videos of myself singing my song, you know what I mean? And that's how that's how it started. I was just doing like,
so you did a few rehearsals. Like you did.
That's what it was. And then I was like, man, let's do a real video. And did a real video. And that wasn't even the first song. I did a real video for the second song. And then
now, when did you first get that customer, the first customer that came and said, hey, I saw this, it was pretty cool. How soon after that did you get that first customer?
Like I said before, mainly people don't never really just come in and ask for me. Like the folks who see my content to buy a car from me, they reach out to me before they come in.
Okay.
So they'll reach out to me and I'm a salesperson. So people don't necessarily reach out to me to buy a car. Most of the people just reach out to me, and it's my job to see if I can convert them into an appointment.
See, I think that's really key. See, what it is that you have this passion, right?
Right.
And you put this passion out there. It was very authentic because you're very passionate about it, right? And that started to create an audience that may or may not be interested in buying a car at that moment in time.
Right.
But what it is, you created that audience. Then through engaging with that audience, all right, you found opportunities where, like you said, you sold someone's cousins, or
Right.
and then that sister bought one, and then
Right.
someone crashed their car and came back and
Right.
bought
And
another one.
all from the content. Like, so it's like I say, I tell, people who ask me, I've for a long time, I've been this pillar in my community where people like just have such a high level of respect for my opinion. And they'll ask me certain things, and I say, man, there's two type of people in this world: people who pick fruit and people who don't plant seeds. So
that's a really good one. I like that.
You got to plant seeds, so the content is not me picking. This is just me planting seeds. You may.
No. That's a really, really good analogy. In fact, I think a lot of people that are listening right now are watching this. This is something you kind of need to take note of, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not making content to sell cars. You're making content to plant seeds in with the intent of creating a relationship. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I made, so the actual last video I did was the real estate video, the No Monopoly. I did it. That whole production and that thing cost me about $1,000. The song, I've made $13 on that song from streaming.
That's awesome.
multiple streams of income. But it may be next month. It may be a year from now. Somebody's going to buy a house from me because of that video.
Yes.
So I'm not expecting, like, when there's a lot of people who expect immediate results. I used to be one of those people who expect immediate return. Like, I'm going to plant seeds today and I'm going to go out tomorrow and I'm going to have a tree full of apples. It don't happen that way.
No.
So the main thing is just to stay consistent. You just keep planting seeds, just keep planting. Like, even like I do internet sales, and it's a lot of phone. Sometimes you may go an hour and not get nobody to pick up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You may go 4 or 5 days and not sell a car. But if you made enough phone calls, if you sent enough text messages, if you left enough voicemail during those 5 days where you didn't sell a car, you may go 2 weeks without having to do any of those things, because you won't have time because you're selling cars. So it's just got to be consistent in planting those seeds. Whatever your seed is, whatever your content is, your content is your seed.
Yes, 100%. And like I said, this is so important. And I want to make sure everybody that's listening, watching this really, really understand this, because there's so much value in what you're saying there, because I get that a lot. I'll get that message in my inbox saying, I've been at this for a few months now, and I haven't seen anybody. I mean, no one's called me, no one's come in. And it's like, to your point, you got to plant those seeds. You got to let harvest come.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta let those relationships. But here's what I also find too, and I think you're actually pretty darn good at this, is that we'll start planting seeds in the sense of creating content, but then we do a shit job engaging with the people.
Yeah.
It's just like we'll just put it out there, but we never actually engage with the people that want to engage with it. So it's not enough. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. It's not enough that we just put the content out. We have to engage with the people as well.
You gotta engage. You have to engage, and it's like a lot of this stuff I've learned, just through making, trial and error. And I've learned you have to engage. And, in the beginning, you do this content, like you realize, or you're absolutely trying. It's like your intent is to build yourself versus to build the audience.
Yes.
So when you're trying to build yourself, it comes with a little ego where you feel like, man, I can't reply to everybody. No, you gotta do that. You're not trying to build yourself. You're trying to build the audience. And the only way to build the audience is to engage with it. So
it's one of my biggest pet peeves. In fact, actually, it's the one thing that actually keeps me up at night. I can't go to sleep until I've literally responded to every single comment I got that day.
Yeah.
Like, and if I don't sleep that well.
Yeah.
Like it keeps me up. And in fact,
right.
And I know that because it happened last night. And I was just like, you know what? I'll get to that person. I'll respond that one in the morning. I had the worst sleep last night ever.
Yeah.
Just, but that's the commitment you have to make, right? And that's that constantly always moving forward, with that goal and objective, planting those seeds in heart, and and reaping the benefit of doing so. Now, the next question I have for you is, how did management handle this? All of a sudden, here's this salesperson on their floor making rap videos and spending his own money to boost those posts and to get more people to watch it. How did management react to that?
Man, I think I've been fortunate to be around a management staff, a management staff in which I'm a part of now, that actually, didn't try to handicap me, or I will say the first one I did, it was a song because I actually I've spent tons of money on my career trying multiple things. Like I had this app. It was an app. I got a URL, bowtieterrance.com is, my URL, but I've assigned that URL to multiple things. At once it was an app where people in the app would lead people to my dealership's inventory, to buy cars. But I promoted the bowtieterrance.com, and the first song I made was the lyrics went bowtieterrance.com. That's my app. Catch me at the dealership. Ooh, that's my trap. And so the song was legit. The managers liked the song. Well, the general sales manager at the time, his only problem was because I didn't mention the dealership's name in the song. But I did that intentionally. And I think that's an issue that management has to address with salespeople. But the reason why I didn't put the dealership name in the song is because I wanted to be able to play that song with me, regardless of what dealership that I went to. But me just being the first dealership that I was at, I witnessed the turnover and people coming and going from different dealerships. That's how the business is. That's how the industry is.
Yep. It
so
is.
I didn't want this song. Like, this is my song. It's about my app. Like, I can't mention the dealership name because in 6 months I might be at another one, so now I got to come up with a new song. But that was my first song. So the next song I did, it was Team Dallas Dodge. That's what the name of the song, you know what I mean? So I got mine out the way. Here we go. Let's go. And
nice.
Mind you, I wasn't in the ad budget for the dealership either. So this is all pro bono.
So, okay, that's really cool too. Is that, you're willing to put your own money on the line here. You're putting your own time into this. The dealership, at one point in time, did the dealership start to support some of your efforts?
So that song was key. I mean, they've always supported. They've been all, I'll get the management video staff would get in the videos. They check out my YouTube. It's Bowtie Terrance is my YouTube. You'll see some of the videos where the management staff, we actually coordinated where we got the whole staff in one of the shots. So it's been a great level of support from everybody. It's just on that first video, they wasn't too happy with the fact that I didn't mention the dealership name.
But regardless of which dealership you worked at, all right, your branding efforts benefited the dealership.
Absolutely.
I think what it is that what we're trying to say here is, management, don't be afraid of your sales team going after and creating their own brand. I would actually be more concerned about why they're leaving versus if they're going to leave. Right. Because if you're supportive of their efforts, supportive, not just emotionally supportive, but physically supportive, but also financially supportive of them, right. Why would they want to take that brand somewhere else? But, as your brand got stronger, all right, that dealership sold more cars. Right. Plain and simple.
I mean, it's fact. And Wells and me, like I said, I'm the ultimate team player. You know what I mean? So when I was an internet director a year ago, I actually wrote lyrics for one of my guys that I managed, and we did a song together. We actually, I've done he'd done 2 songs with me. He's the only one with the courage enough to actually do it. Get outside, it's real difficult to get outside that comfort zone. But he was able to do it, and so I think if you just encourage your people to do it, they will. But I don't think that's the main issue. I think the main issue that I get from sales managers, is that they ask me, why can't I get my salespeople to do that? That's what they say. Why can't I get my salespeople to do that?
Yeah.
Why can't I? And I don't I keep it, real vague. I'm gonna be candid and 100% with you, but the majority of the people who ask me that are people who didn't do it themselves, or people who don't do it now. So if you want to get your salespeople to do it, go do it.
Lead by example, right?
Right.
No, I completely agree with you. I think there are a lot of dealerships out there that are seeing the value in salespeople creating their own brand and generating those new audiences that may have never existed for the dealership in the first place. But it is very difficult to expect someone to do something if the management team is not willing to do it themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm telling people I get calls. Hey, can you talk to my guy? I want to just tell him what you did. I like, sir, I'm a manager now. Like I'll got my own team.
Your own team, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're not slowing down at all. You're continuing to make content. I'm looking forward to hearing the next song. I loved the real estate one was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And you know what? You've been at this now for several years. There's actually been people who've been copying some of your efforts. A few other players out there that all of a sudden come out of the woodworks and rapping at their dealerships as well. So I think that's awesome. Now, you've been at this for a while. If someone's asked you, what were the 3 most important things you've learned in the years that you've been doing this? How would you answer that? What would be those 3 important things?
The 3 most important things that I've learned is the self-branding.
Yeah, everything. It doesn't matter anything. It could be in the execution, the creative, the capturing, whatever it is.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I think so my girlfriend, I call her my coach.
That's nice. We all need one, right?
Well, yeah, it was. So I get like these like wild, like I'm working 24/7. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like when I get home, it's like my work doesn't start until I get home. I'm like, man, what can I do next? Like what can I do next? Because out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
So I say, so I start to veer, go try and do something different. And I think that one of the most important thing is what she tell me is she just make real subtle remark, and she tell me that I'm swerving. So
keeps
I think
you in your lane.
Yeah, 100%. Stay in your lane, like do what works for you. You know what I mean? So you find something that's working, keep doing it. Like get better at it.
That's
make whatever your strength is even stronger. So that's one of the most important things. Stay in your lane, do what works for you. Don't try to copy this, because there's some people, everybody has their strengths. But some people will see something working for somebody else, and then they'll try to do that and neglect what would work for them.
Yep.
So execute your strength. And like you said, engagement, engage your audience, like trying to build your audience. Don't try and build yourself.
That is some great, wisdom and knowledge bombs there. And for guys that are listening or watching this, hey, just to kind of recap real quick, Bowtie, what you said there is, really stay that course. Look, you start getting into the content game, and I've had this happen to me as well, right? I've been asked multiple times now, Jason, why don't you broaden your audience? Why don't you just, you don't need to just focus on automotive. You can get into all these other verticals and so on and so forth. But you know what? And the fun thing is, I every once in a while I've tried to, and I just kind of get a little bit out of my lane, and something will happen, kind of slap me back into it.
Yeah.
So it's like, your girlfriend, your coach is 100% right there. It's just like, stay in your lane. Don't be the jack of all trades and masters of nothing. Be that master of whatever that is. And then obviously the next thing is you got to engage. Like you have to engage. You can't just put it out there and then just leave it out there for people to. It doesn't work that way. We need to engage with the audience.
Now, a part of engagement means you have to support other people. Yes. There are people who are pursuing their own, passion or business, who support you. Like there are times where you're gonna have to, you share some of their posts. Like don't just be like, oh man, I got people supporting me, and thank you. You thank them by sharing their content as well.
Yeah, you know, that's actually a really good point. I had the a similar conversation with someone the other day. I said it's not the size of your audience, it's what you do with your audience that makes a difference, right?
Right.
And you know that audience that you have, if it's 100 or 1,000 or 100,000, you know, it's that community that you build within that audience is super important, and that only comes from engagement.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you so much, Terrance, for coming on and jamming with me today. This has been so much fun. For everybody out there who's watching or listening to the show and they'd like to learn a little bit more about what you're up to, maybe catch up on the most recent music video, what is the best way to connect with you?
Well, I'm bow tied. So the best way to connect with me is whatever social media outlet you use, because I'm on all of them. If you're on Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, bow tie Terrance.
Awesome.
That's it.
Thanks. Hey, thanks, Terrance. I appreciate you taking the time to jam with me today.
Man, thanks for having me, Jason.
Have yourself a good day.
Yes, sir. You too.